Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
So we want to talk about healing the divine masculine, and of course the divine feminine needs to be healed as well, and so we're going to tackle these things separately. You know, it's a patriarchal world. It's been a patriarchal world for thousands of years, and actually when we start looking really close, we could see that when the modern system came in, and I mean thousands of years ago, like 5,000-6,000 years ago, it came in and took over what was a matrilinear system in this world. Most of the tribes out there, most of the people, they had a lot of respect for the divine feminine. And of course, the divine feminine has been suppressed. This has also ended up causing a lot of problems with the divine masculine and just even finding balance. Like so many times I've made reference to the caduceus symbol of the two snakes intertwined along a central shaft, and that's again the Ida and the Pingala. It's the divine feminine nadi and the divine masculine nadi when that energy is balanced, and that doesn't mean that we can't be masculine or feminine beings. Obviously, how this gets you into that whole conflict that hopefully we're putting behind us in at least some of the world. It's perfectly fine to have feminine and masculine traits. In fact, we all do. And, in fact, in other incarnations, you could have been the opposite gender. But what's happened in this world is it's been traumatized in so many ways. And they're always also, obviously, controlling us through conflict. And, you can't get any more basic than the conflict between the divine masculine and the divine feminine that's been cultivated. So how do we get past that? All the trauma that, say, in this particular instance, has been afflicted to the divine masculine.
So I think it's going to be a thing where sometimes we have to work together and sometimes we're going to have to work individually, but healing needs to occur nonetheless. But, every situation is different. Every person is different, and sometimes you can heal together if both partners are willing to take a good look at themselves, and sometimes you have to do it apart, but it just depends on what you're in alignment for. It's like, what does the universe have to show you for you to heal, so we can bring these two energies together. But this was a transmission from higher self to bring this to you guys. So healing the masculine. Most men cannot listen to the words of their women without feeling triggered. This is not because they do not care. It is because unhealed trauma runs deep. They have been conditioned from childhood, absorbing patterns of communication, anger, and fear from their fathers, their families, their environments. This is the only language they have known. When a man seeks control over his partner, it is rarely born of true strength. It is born of fear of being vulnerable, fear of being rejected, fear of the chaos he carries inside. He may blame his partner for his internal turbulence, projecting unresolved pain outward instead of turning inward to heal. But the masculine can be healed. It begins with awareness, recognizing that his triggers, his need for control, his resistance to listening are echoes of the past, not the truth of his present. To heal the masculine, he must face his shadows, acknowledge fear, anger, and grief without shame, learn presence, listen fully without the need to respond immediately, control or protect ego, release blame, understand that no one outside can fix what is inside. Healing comes from self-acceptance and responsibility. Embody strength through softness. True masculine energy is not dominance. It is grounded presence, integrity, and the courage to feel fully. Women play a role as mirrors, not teachers. Their words, their boundaries, their truths reflect what is unhealed, allowing men to see themselves honestly. But it is the man's work to do the inner journey, to reclaim his power without fear, and to step into a masculine that is protective, nurturing, and aligned with love rather than control. The star family, the cosmic guides, and the energies of the dragon and galactic light are here to support all masculine energies. They remind men that it is safe to feel, safe to surrender, and safe to stand strong without dominance. Healing the masculine is not only about relationships, it is about the evolution of the collective consciousness. When men release fear, take responsibility, and embrace the fullness of their energy, humanity steps closer to balance, wholeness, and true partnership. The masculine and feminine are designed to dance together in harmony, each reflecting, each supporting, each learning. The time for healing is now, the path is within, and the universe stands ready to support every man willing to step into the strength of presence, compassion, and authenticity. So I hope that's helpful for someone.
Yeah, again, with any healing, it could be something that somebody says that triggers an understanding and a realization. The true healing always comes from within. Always, always, always. You know, you can go to a shaman, a healer, a counselor, a therapist. All you're really looking for is something to be triggered, some sort of inspiration, some sort of understanding, a light bulb going off, an aha moment. It's the individual that has to actually have that experience. It's just like what the Gnostics would call gnosis. It's a knowing that happens from within, because again, we are only temporarily having this human experience. And it really is through traumas that we've gone through, sometimes not even our own, sometimes it's in the DNA, but it's still there because we're inheriting this situation on this planet, and that includes traumas that perhaps are generational.
So as the divine feminine rises up, the masculine must heal, and that's why it might be so difficult right now in relationships. We have a high rate of divorce. You know, so many relationships just are not working out right now. But I do believe for the most part, we do have to individually heal before we can truly bring the energies together. So, and you know, you cannot help anyone heal who doesn't want to admit there's anything wrong. And you also cannot heal anyone who refuses to stop taking in what poisoned them to begin with. And a lot of people are just kind of in a self-reflective state right now and just trying to figure things out. And like Mike said, you know, looking for triggers. Some people are are looking for triggers, and some people are trying to avoid triggers. So you might be somewhere in that spectrum. It's like, I want to fix a thing, but I don't really want that trigger. Or you might be right in the middle, or you might need just someone who is kind and safe for you to talk to really pull the emotions up from you know, the depths of your soul. You just need a safe place to be. So the men and women, I mean, we've been raised in a world that doesn't have any authenticity. You know, takes us from cradle to grave and teaches us how to be, how to exist. And there's not one part of any of this matrix that I can see that's really all that natural, unless you grow up on a farm, then you're exposed to nature. But yeah, this place is not, it's very different. It's very different, and it's not easy. But go easy on yourself.
You know, this goes all the way back to Shiva and Shakti, which ultimately, when you look at Shiva is ultimately representing consciousness, and Shakti is manifestation. So, you know, again, it's the combination of the two, the yin and the yang. They have to be in balance, and not some distorted mental concept of that balance. It's harmony and acceptance, and It's not having to necessarily change things in your partner. It's recognition of the fact that we're all unique fractals, and again, I think even everything that we were brought up with may be redefined in the coming times as we've gotten on 5D. The whole process of choosing a life partner per se is very, very different, and it's completely based on truly, bringing out the best version of ourselves, because this is all part of the learning process.
Well, you definitely want to look at that. The person that you're with should add happiness to your life. If they're not adding happiness, that means they're taking it away, and that means you're sinking. So we have to acknowledge that too.
Absolutely. You have to be if you're going to choose somebody to bring about the best you, they have to be accepting of who you are. And that's also when we talk about doing shadow work in, uncovering the shadow self. That's not condoning, our things we might view as our faults. It's just recognizing. And when you recognize, then you can honestly move forward. So this is part of that process, and there's so much healing to be done on planet Earth. But the time is now. Now is the time. It's a new era. Dare I say, it is truly a new age. It's a new Yuga, and there's all new understandings that are coming about. So if you guys need some help with spiritual coaching, ascension, again, energy work, biofield tuning, Vedic astrology, that's what we do when we're not doing videos. That's actually the number one thing we do is try to help others. And you can reach us at evolutionaryenergyarts@gmail.com. Source bless, thank you for being on this ride. Namaste.
Namaste.